I.S.U.P.K.
All I'm going to tell you, man, if you want to stay plugged in and tuned in, make sure you subscribe to I.S.U.P.K. on YouTube. A lot of powerful information will be coming out this summer, and you want to stay tuned in. The minute they drop it, it's coming right to you, baby, as soon as you subscribe. So make sure you handle that business and subscribe to I.S.U.P.K.
Can you say that again?
I am African.
You're African.
I was born in South
Put the camera on him. He's African. Okay, and then what were you asking me about now?
It says here that Jesus is black, but wasn't Jesus Arab?
Now, you said something else besides that. No, Jesus Christ was a Jew. You can't be a Jew and an Arab. The real Jews are black. You said something else at that
but
table.
Arab is a nationality, not a religion.
Hold on. No, Judaism is a false religion. Being a Jew is a nationality. That's the difference. Being a Jew is from the tribe of Judah. Yep. Judah descends from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. When you're an Israelite, Ite means to be the son of. You're the son of an Israelite. So you cannot convert to being a Jew. But here's the problem. You want to know why you're South African? Because white people colonized Africa. You want to know why there's a Jewish man saying he's a Jew? Because white people are culture thieves. Now what you said before was what about the Irish? The oppression of the Irish. Yeah. Here's newsflash. The Irish were never slaves. Ever. 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 Let me explain something to you. The Irish maybe even were indentured servants, where they had contracts to come to America to work for 10 years. Now here's the problem. When you got here, you became overseers over black and Hispanics. During the Civil War, a riot broke out and the Irish murdered thousands of black people so they wouldn't have to fight in the Civil War. The Irish oppressed black and Hispanics, and the Irish were never slaves.
Right.
There was no Jim Crow for the Irish. Like, what are you even talking about? Every time we come out here and talk about black and Hispanic pain, there's always some white man that's like, oh God, I got a paper cut, I'm oppressed. What am I gonna do? And that's why white people are behind every mass shooting. Black people have been oppressed in America the last 400 years. How many mass shootings are we behind?
I don't
I don't see anybody naming them.
Don't
I tell you what, the last 2 years, how many school shootings have there been from white people? Because white people get bullied and they shoot up their classmates. You want to know what the difference is though? The white boy leaves alive. The white school shooter leaves alive. But black and Hispanic children play with toy guns and end up in a hole. Now, damn that. Damn that. They killed themselves. And if they wouldn't have killed themselves, the cops would have fed them Burger King and put a bulletproof vest on them, just like they did Dylan Roof's store. So I don't want to hear none of this. The white man's the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
There ain't no white oppression. There wasn't no white slave trade. You were behind the slave trade. Right. Don't come down here and talk to me, but what about the Irish? What about the Irish? Damn you, damn the Blarney Stone, damn the four-leaf clover. You understand that? Take a little fighting Irish leprechaun up off the block. You know what we're doing here? We're talking about black and Hispanic pain caused by the Caucasian race. And we're talking about how black and Hispanics need time to heal. We need to learn our identity. We need to come back to our God. Like, black man, let me ask you something. How the hell you got a white God? How the hell you gonna be like Tina Turner and try to worship Buddha? How you got a Chinese God? The Chinese made a God who looks just like them. The East Indians made a God who looked just like them. The white man stole your God and made it look like him. But you want to get a God that looks like everyone else. You want to know why? Because we've been relegated to a position of slavery inside of America. And every time we try to stand strong, they try to break us down. But let me tell you something. There's a new breed of nigga in SPIC being raised up today. There's a new breed of illegal immigrant being raised up today. And that's these black and Hispanic men under Commander General YAHANNA. Because up here, we ain't taking none of goddamn things from any of y'all. You listen, you might be trying to pull that on someone who doesn't read. Here's the problem. These are some educated slaves up here. We actually read books. That's how you know the Irish weren't enslaved. Y'all been free forever and still don't know a goddamn thing. Like, these are supposed to be the people who run the earth. They don't even know their own history. Damn that, man. Black and Hispanics, you look inside that Bible. And you don't look inside that Bible for Christianity because the Christian church is the house of Satan. You understand that? You take a homosexual and you want to dunk him in a river and he comes up a wet homosexual. You understand that? That water baptism don't clean nobody. That don't do a damn thing for nobody. You know what does? When God said, man shall not lay with man, otherwise your blood shall pursue thee. And that's why every single one of them homosexuals down there in Atlanta are dying right now of HIV and AIDS. And in 10 years, they're all going to die of a cold. Because AIDS is a blood-borne disease. And God said, if you want to be a nasty homosexual, he's going to destroy you. And that's what he did to his people, because his people didn't want to listen. And I'm talking to every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian out here. Why do you think we're the only people without an identity? Why do you think we're the only people who don't have their own language? Why do you think we're the only people who, if you go to any country, you'll be on the bottom of that socio-economic ladder? Because God is against us. You want to know why God's against us? Because we broke his laws, statutes, and commandments. Because he gave us a set of rules. He gave us a certain set of laws that it comes down to. And when you break them, he's going to punish you. This is your book. This book will never belong to no white man, no Asian man, no African, none of that. You understand? That's another thing too, black man. You ain't no damn African. Africans don't give a damn about you either. That's why, you understand, your ancestors came here on a slave ship. They come here today on a plane, and somehow they own more businesses than us in our own neighborhoods. Don't make no goddamn sense unless you have this book. Unless you understand your identity, unless you understand that we are the chosen people of God, and it's time that we turn back to him. Give me Isaiah 1 and 3. Here's the problem. We don't know who the hell we are. If I go and ask a Hispanic, what's your identity? He's going to say, I'm a Puerto Rican. You're not a port of riches. How are you a rich port? Don't make no damn sense. I ask a black man, what's your identity? He's going to say, I'm black. I never ran up on a Chinese man and said, what's your race? And he said, I'm a yellow man. I'm yellow. They don't say that. You understand? You talk to the Japanese, they'll say, I'm from Nagasaki. And in Nagasaki, they hate the white man too for dropping a bomb on them. They hate him too in Hiroshima. Read what you got.
Isaiah 1 verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner.
Let me tell you something. An ox is a dumb animal, but he's smart enough to know who the hell he belongs to. Read.
And the ass, his master's crib.
An ass, you understand? Let me tell you something. An ass is a donkey. It's another dumb animal. And he knows his master's what?
Crib.
This is a metaphor for God's house. What did God call his house?
Crib.
This book is written in slang. Ain't no white man could interpret this. Who calls their house a crib? You understand that? Read.
Israel doth not know
Israel doesn't know though. The black and Hispanics, we don't know who the hell we belong to. We don't know we're of the house of Israel. We don't know our language was Hebrew. Shema Yasha'ala Yahweh Lahayanawa Yahweh Akai. We don't know our language, our identity. Unless you're in the Israelite school of universal and practical knowledge. Then you know I said, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. Read.
My people do not consider.
Our people do not consider a damn thing but how to get some more weed. That's what we want. We want to roll up. You got 5 on it? That's what we consider it. You understand? We consider about smashing some little dot tonight while we're high. That's all that we want to do. You understand? All we want to do is get our check, pay our rent. Really, black and Hispanics, all we really want is a job. You understand? We just want to feed our family. But then we die trying to feed our family, just trying to walk home. We die just hanging out on the corner. They choked Eric Garner out because they said he was selling untaxed cigarettes. How many Lucy's Habibi been selling out the bodega? Right. They ain't choking him out. Don't never happen. They pushing heroin out that bodega. Right. You understand? You know why? Because if you put Habibi in a headlock and he starts dying, saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, and whatever accent he got, you know what's going to happen? Downtown Crossing is going to get blown up. You understand? That's what's going to happen. And listen, terrorism is wrong. You shouldn't be blowing nobody up. But the Arabs, they will throw rocks at a tank to be free. They will throw a shoe at George Bush's head to be free.
That's right.
But you know what we do? Hands up. Don't shoot. Hashtag Black Lives Matter, because a hashtag is the road to revolution, right? Because a hashtag could get you free. You crazy? It's ridiculous. And then when you're marching and saying Black Lives Matters, who are you doing it for? Who is Kaepernick taking the knee for? Now I'll salute Kaepernick for this reason. He gave up all that money just to make a statement. And you know what? It's so rare that an entertainer will fight for his people. You understand? It's so rare. But it ain't nothing new. My 5-year-old won't stand for listen, the only anthem we stand for is the Rough Riders anthem. That's it. You understand that? And even my son knows that. Damn the national anthem, damn the Confederate flag, damn the American flag. You understand that? In 1776, when they made the American flag, our ancestors were in slavery. That flag represents just as much of our oppression as the Confederate flag, man. Like, it's time we wake up. It's time we start to consider more than just getting some ass. It's time we start to consider more than just getting high. More than just getting a job. It's time we start to consider real revolution. And let me tell you a real revolution. The Black Panthers, let me tell you something. Salute to you for the food program. Salute to you for wanting to stand up for your people. Here's the problem. Real revolution starts by changing an individual's morals. The Black Panthers didn't change nobody's morals. That's why half of them today are still chasing white women. Black man, leave white women alone. Go listen. Go get you a beautiful black woman or Hispanic woman. That's what you need to do. Straight up and down. Leave Asians alone. You understand? Don't stay outside your race. And that's why I said that Christianity is the house of Satan. Christianity doesn't change your morals. They put a tambourine in your hand and tell you to shake it. You understand? The hell out of here. You want to go learn how to play the piano like Little Richie? You understand? You go to the Christian church. You want to learn how to serve God? Grab a flyer. Because God requires you to change your morals. God requires you to give up your lust. God requires you to be an upstanding and law-abiding citizen. That's right. You understand that? That's what the hell that he requires. And here's the problem. Unfortunately, because we're in America, we want to live like white people, and white people live free and lawless. You want to know why they live free and lawless? Because these laws were never given to them. Because God didn't deal with them. God didn't deal with no nation outside of Israel.
That's right.
He only dealt with Israel. And as a result, Israel's getting punished right now. So we better start considering. Or else you know what's going to happen? Or else we're going to have to keep rioting like they did in Memphis. Or else we're going to have to keep marching and looking for some kind of solution. When that'll never be no damn solution. Let me tell you something, man. These leaders failed us. Every single one of these organizations failed us. Because they don't attach us to the right culture. Because they don't attach us to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so long as we start worshiping white Jesus, so long as we keep following these other nations, these lawless heathens, we're going to continue to be destroyed. We're going to continue to die inside the streets of America when God wants you to live, man. You understand that? All these other nations know when they're being oppressed. They know when they're being harmed. And that's why they won't do that to nobody else, but they come and do it to us. Because Israel doth not consider. Instead, what have we become? We
are a sinful nation.
We became what?
A sinful nation.
Let me tell you something. God is not coming back for a nation of women that are the best twerkers. He ain't coming back for twerk queens. He might come back for a princess, though. Read that again.
A sinful nation.
God's not coming back for a nation of drug kingpins. You understand that? Don't glorify Nicky Barnes. Don't glorify Frank Lucas. Don't glorify these people who made riches off of heroin and crack. Don't glorify that. Black man, you can't be no drug dealer. You sell drugs for 15 years and then you do 15 years. But you know what happens? George Bush Sr. Yeah, he was the head of the CIA during the Iran-Contra scandal. And when he died, everybody sang at his funeral. Everybody sang at his funeral. Everybody loved George W. Bush Sr. Guess what? George Bush Sr. was the biggest drug dealer on the planet.
Right.
You understand that? Ronald Reagan was a drug dealer. Nancy Reagan was a trap queen, and the White House is a trap house. Black man, you ain't no drug dealer. Don't be no drug dealer. The biggest gangsters in the world wear suits and ties, and a little American flag pin right on their tie, and say, "God bless America." When God's going to destroy America. And if you want to join America, if you want to love America, you can die with it. Don't you understand God prophesied this place was going to be destroyed? I know you think this is the land of freedom. This is the place that you're only free to do wickedness. If you want to be a child molester, don't talk about surviving R. Kelly. Let's talk about surviving the Catholic Church.
That's right.
Let's talk about surviving Father Paddock.
Right.
You understand? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about those little white naked angel babies on the roof of that Sistine Chapel. That's pedophilia. And you wonder why the Catholics are molesting thousands of children. Shouldn't we talk about that? Let's talk about surviving America. You want to be a child molester? Go be a Catholic priest. You want to be a murderer? Go join the police department. You can kill a nigger or a spick and get off. You understand that? You want to be a homosexual? Go be a Christian. You want to be a drug dealer? Go be a Muslim. There's more crack than a little bit sold in the name of Allah. You sell drugs, you get locked up, you go to jail, you convert to Islam, you come out, you're a Muslim drug dealer. You sell anything without a beard. There's a religion to do any nasty thing under the sun. You want to smoke weed? Go be a Rasta. You want to serve God though? You stop being an American. You stop being a Christian. You understand that? You pick up this book and you be what God called you. If you're a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you the real Jew.
That's right.
You the real Israelites of biblical antiquity. And let me tell you something. You cannot be what? Read that again.
a sinful nation.
Because when we become a sinful nation, that's how you get Donald Trump ruling over us. You understand that? That's how you get that cheese doodle looking bastard ruling over us today. It's a problem out here. Well, God doesn't want this nation ruling over us. Black and Hispanics, we're the greatest people on the face of the earth. And you know why? White people only love you when you're entertaining them. Because they start to see your greatness. They love when you're dancing like Michael Jackson. They just don't like when you're as dark as him. That's why they wanted to turn him into a goddamn white man too. Michael Jackson had so much self-hate he ended up looking like a white woman by the end of his life. You understand that? It's a problem. They love you when you run that football. But then when they pull you over, they're afraid of you because of how good you run that football. It's ridiculous, man. Like, we're the greatest people on the face of the earth. For what we do, white people need steroids for. You understand? Straight up and down. They gotta go and take a needle, shoot it straight into their behind to try to keep up with you. We are the greatest people. We the fastest, we the best dressers, the best dancers. We invented everything inside America. Why the hell are we on the bottom? Why are we dying without justice? Why don't we have an identity? You know why? Because we turned against our God. And because we turned against our God, God doesn't want you to have a white God. He don't want you to have a Chinese God. You want to get in bed with other gods? This is what God's going to do. He's going to say, you want to follow these other nations so bad? I'm going to show you what it's like when they rule over you. I'm going to show you what it's like. And you want to know what it's like? Give me Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the 48th or 49th verse. You want to know what it's like? It's exactly what God said it would be like. Our condition inside America was prophesied inside this Bible 6,000 years ago. You don't know that. You want to know why you don't know that? Because your pastor told you to love everybody. Because he told you you have a choice. Let me tell you the choice you got, black women, since y'all want to be pro-choice so goddamn much. You want to know what your choice is? Open or close your damn legs. You understand that? Everybody wants to turn around and say, but what about rape? What about rape? What about women who are raped? Do you know less than 1% of abortions come from rape? And y'all want to blame the baby. Who's trying to make harsher penalties for the rapist? Oh, somebody raped somebody. Go hang them from this telephone pole. We'll see if anybody rapes over here in the next 10 days. You understand that? You got it? Oh, we got to go. All right, I understand. That's the problem, man. You got it? Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Thine who?
Thine enemies.
God said we would serve our enemies. The white man.
Thine enemies.
The Arab.
Thine enemies.
The African.
Thine enemies.
The Chinese.
Thine enemies.
We served our enemies here in America. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
And God sent the white man against us. Because you love pork more than you love your God. Because black man, you love white women more than you love your God. And your God said the black woman is the greatest creature on the earth.
Right.
What you want to leave her for? The hell out of here, man. You want to go eat fried chicken in these Arab-owned spots like the black and Hispanic woman don't cook better than everybody. Y'all want to go get Becky and her pinch of salt. And her raisins in the potato salad. That's what the hell y'all want for some income tax every year. Because you need a place to sleep. You want to give up on your sister because she got a big mouth? Teach your woman how to close her mouth. Teach your woman to respect you. Black women are lionesses and they need a lion over them. You soft, she gonna punk you. But you know what you do? You so soft, you want to go deal with a white woman because you think she listens. Because she ain't grow up in a broken hole. You understand? Like, this is what I want to know. I know you feel me over here. As a brother, he told me he wants a white girl. I said, yo, you get a white girl, this is what I want to know. We work construction. I'm on a construction site. I'm like, when your foreman calls you a nigger, how are you going to go home and expect Becky to relate to that? You get what I'm saying? Why don't you go get a woman who grew up just like you, who understands you and your pain? Why don't you do that? Why don't you be strong in America for once in your life? Keep reading.
In hunger and in thirst.
And what?
And
in hunger? Where's the black farms? The black supermarkets? They're gone. We serve our enemies when we're hungry and in thirst. That's why Flint still don't have clean water. Because we serve our enemies even when we're thirsty. Read.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness. Macy's ain't owned by black. Neither is none of those ads in there. None of them. Brother, I'm gonna just use you 1 second. Polo ain't us. Bro, I'm rocking Levi. That ain't us. And if I knew a brother who made some jeans, I'd buy them from him too. If I knew a black man or a Hispanic man with a textile mill, I'd go to him first. Because isn't that what every race does? Because you couldn't have Chinatown without it. You couldn't have Bollywood without it. You couldn't have Little Italy without it. But then they want you to integrate. And then when we integrate, what happens to our businesses? Gone. You want to know why? Because racism works. Because if those church parishioners in the African Methodist Church knew that Dylan Roofstorm was the devil, maybe they wouldn't have invited him to Bible class. And then maybe he wouldn't have unloaded his gun. That he reloaded that clip 5 times.
What about the DC sniper?
Don't tell me that the white man ain't the devil. You understand that? Keep reading.
And in what of all things?
In what of all things do we go to our enemies? In what of all things do we suffer under our enemies? Because we don't got no unity. We don't know who we are. Israel, my people, doth not consider. Well, it's time we get some consideration, ain't it? It's time that we wake up. It's time that we become unified. Because I brought up Chinatown. Try to get a black business in Chinatown. Try to put in a job application in Chinatown. Impossible. Impossible. But you know what? The Chinese come to the hood, don't they? And how much money do they get off their soda, their chicken, and their rice special? Half the time that's cat, rat, and dog. That's not even Chinese. That's not even real food. My God. They saving money setting up traps in the back. You ever notice you never see a Chinese truck deliver? Why? Yeah. You know why? Because that's Lassie. That's Fido. There's stray dogs in every neighborhood until there's a Chinatown. Where'd all the dogs go? That was your number 5 special. That was your Szechuan chicken. That's what that was. Instead, we die out here in these streets. Our life was prophesied in this book. Give me Lamentations 4 and 17. Everything that we go through. Thank you, brother. You understand? Stop supporting the Christian church. They're just going to buy a G5. They're just going to take a Rolls Royce home and then send you on the bus. You could pay tithes your whole life. Go tell pastor that you're late on your rent. Pray about it, brother. I'll pray with you. Go ask Commandant General YAHANNA, who we follow, to pay your rent. He gonna shell out for you. He's gonna fight for you. He's gonna go to bat for you. What the hell do you think we're doing here right now? It's a beautiful day. I drove out here from New York. I came all the way from Harlem just to call white people the devil. Because I love you. Because I love y'all. Because I love every black and Hispanic, and all of you are my responsibility, because I know better.
We want no cowards in our camp,